Right, so hi everyone, my name is Amy and I am the CEO and co-founder of Collctiv. I'm very excited to be here talking with you today at Manchester Digital Summer Summit. So just a quick overview of what we're going to go over in the next 20 minutes or so. I'll quickly take you through who Collctiv are and a bit of our backstory and what we do. And then we'll delve a bit further into how Collctiv can help support brands and merchants. And the kind of three main ways that we can do that through helping you guys to increase your sales, know your customers better, and also to reach more customers as well at the same time. And then I'll just share with you, we've got a webinar coming up, so I'll share the details about that in case you want any more details after this session. And we should have 5 minutes or so at the end left for any questions or answers that we might that you might have that I hopefully be able to answer. So if you have any questions, please do drop them in the chat and I'll try to get to them at the end. So let me press on then. So who are we? Who are Collctiv? Well, Collctiv are the group payments solution. So our mission is very simply to make group payments simple and seamless. So if you've ever had to organise anything that's involved a group of people, maybe a group of your friends or family, going on a group holiday or trying to do a whip round for a group present, then you'll know how difficult it is to get money off everyone. You're left chasing people, people find it difficult, no one's ever got any cash on them, people don't want to take the time to do your bank transfer, all these things. So that was basically the problem that we are here to solve. We have a consumer app, so if you are like me, if you're the person who organises everything, you can quite simply download our app, create a pot, and share a payment link or a QR code into any social platform like WhatsApp, Facebook, email, anywhere you like. It's just a link. And you can share that with your friends or your family for them to simply tap and pay. They don't have to do any banking. They don't have to do any setting up of any accounts. They don't have to download our app. They don't have to do anything other than tap and pay. They can using Apple Pay or Google Pay or with a card. And so it's done in less than 10 seconds, no fuss whatsoever. And you as the organiser have collected all that money that you needed to be able to do that group activity. But we also make it easy for groups to buy directly from a brand if they're trying to make a group purchase or a group booking. We make it possible for them to split that payment as well, which is what I'll go into a bit further shortly. So the idea for Collctiv came around largely because I'm always out of pocket for things that I organise, that friends, lovely friends, but inevitably fail to pay me back or pay me on time for the things that I have to pay out. And the kind of final straw was when I was actually organising a baby shower for a friend who was going on maternity leave. And I was doing a whip round at the office in my previous role for a leaving present for her baby shower. And I had 10 people pledge to chip in £10. So I bought her a bar voucher and I ended up only getting £20 of that back. And I sort of turned to my now co-founder, Pete, who's our Chief Tech Officer, and just said, look, there must be a solution out there for this. There must be an easy way to collect money as a group. And hence we began on this journey. So we are a startup. We launched the first version of the app last September, so only 10 months ago. And since then, we've helped over 5,000 people collect money from groups of friends, processing over hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of transactions, and helping hundreds of companies to sell directly to groups as well in the process. So we've been fairly busy. So I've talked to you a little bit about how we can help you as a consumer to collect money from your friends if you're trying to do something as a group. But how can we help you as a merchant or a retailer or a brand who sells directly to groups? Well, simply, if you do sell to groups, we can help you to sell to groups. And that, there are many different types of companies that sell in different verticals to groups, and we can help you all. It's the same technology, essentially. So whether you're selling gifts, product items that are bought as gifts by groups of people, or whether you're selling travel tours or holidays, or doing things like stag and hen party events around weddings, or other sort of group events, activities, sports teams, that sort of thing. Whatever it is that you sell, if your customers, it tends to be a group of people, then we can help you. And how it works at a top level is that whoever's the organizer in that group, when they're coming to make that purchase or that booking, They split that payment between all of their friends who simply tap to pay, no downloads, just using Apple Pay, Google Pay, tap and they're done, and the purchase is complete. So I'll just go through in a little bit more detail what that means, how it helps. Well, firstly, so if you are a merchant who does sell to a group of people in one go, then the first way that our platform can help you is actually to help you increase your sales. So we've seen over the last sort of 4 or 5 years or so the rise of the buy now pay later guys, so the likes of Klarna and Lay-Buy and those guys who have actually demonstrated that if you give a consumer or a customer the ability to split the cost or to cost at checkout, that actually it helps you increase your sales. So those guys talk about figures as high as 40% bounce rate reduction at carts, so cart abandonment being reduced. And in the context of group payments, it's actually incredibly important because this isn't about giving credit to people. This is just simply about saying to an organizer, instead of having to make a large purchase on your card, which you then have to chase people for them or send out payment requests to try and get money back after the event, we help reduce your risk as an organizer, as a customer, by helping you to get that money up front as you're making that purchase. And because that risk is then reduced to the customer, it means that they are more likely to spend more because they know they're not paying fully out for that purchase at that same time. So a classic example this Father's Day recently, and as the organizer of my family with my 2 brothers, who bless them are anything but organized, I obviously went ahead and looked at some presents and some gifts that we could get for our dad together, and came across something that was outside of my individual budget for my dad, but with my brothers chipping in, it meant that I could spend more. I had more budget available to spend at that time. But not only would I as an organizer be more inclined to spend a higher amount, I'd also do it. So if I'm looking at a Father's Day present, stick with that example, and I find something I like and I think, oh, it's outside of my budget, but maybe my brothers will chip in, I'll go and see if I can get the money off them. What I've had to do there is actually come away from your website. I've had to bounce from your cart, from your booking process, in order to go and talk to my friends and family and try and convince them to give me the money, or ask them if they're okay to give me the money back and see if I trust them to pay me back. But because I'll have the ability with Collctiv to split the bill there and then, it means I can actually just go, oh, actually, this is a brilliant present for my dad. Oh, look, I can instantly split the cost with my brothers with no risk to me. And I can make that purchase there and then, and I don't have to leave your site or your cart or your booking process to do that. So that's essentially how we've helped you to increase your sales at that point. But more than that, more than just increasing your sales, we actually enable you to have a much better insight into your customers. So traditionally, as a merchant, if you're selling, for example, if you're selling a product that's commonly bought as a gift, you'll sell to one person, and you won't have much idea as to whether that's a single person buying that £300 item or whether it's 10 people buying that £300 item. If you just only ever interact with one person and they just provide you, or they just pay the whole amount, actually you don't have any real insight into the whole social purchase cycle that's gone on behind that purchase. So one of the things that using the Collctiv platform to split or to allow your customers to split payment at checkout does is it lets you know your customers better. There's over £300 billion a year in the UK alone that's spent, consumers spend on things that are social or group spend related. And if you think about it, a lot of our disposable income is spent socially. So that's what we enable you to do. It means you can have better insight on what sort of products people tend to buy as groups, how many people tend to buy or tend to chip into certain groups, and you also get better insight on who else, which other customers or potential customers are interested in your brand and your products, even if they're not the primary purchaser or the person who initially came on your site to make that purchase. So, so there's a good level of insight that we can help you to have if you sell to groups that way. But not only can you better know who you're selling to, using the Collctiv platform, you can actually increase your reach dramatically. Because our platform is fundamentally the way we do our group payments tag is it's a shareable link. So you're actually getting your customer to share your brand on your behalf. And we all know the old sort of marketing funnel where you're trying to move customers down the line until they become your fans or your advocates. And this really helps accelerate that. So if you have a customer who's purchasing a Father's Day present product as a gift, and they're sharing a payment link into WhatsApp, into their friends, or Facebook Messenger, or email, wherever it is, the person at the very end, who we call the contributor, may not have heard of your brand before, but now they're receiving a link to pay from a trusted friend through a trusted platform, and they're tapping and going through a seamless, trusted payment process in order to contribute towards that purchase or booking. So they've then just been exposed to your brand by their friends as part of this payment process. So that actually can have a real knock-on effect once you start doing the maths around the impact that that can have. And yes, our average share ratio is 1 to 10, and that varies widely depending on what you're selling to groups. In addition, we also can introduce and like to introduce our merchants and brands that we work with to our collectors on our consumer side. So we have over 5,000 on our consumer app platform. So that's people who are collecting money in advance of making a purchase. Maybe they're collecting money ready to save up to go on a holiday. Maybe they're collecting money ready to doing a whip round for a present, but they don't yet know what they want to buy. And we are able to introduce our merchants to those people as brands that sell to groups. So we have people with the money ready to go, ready to make a purchase, already collected, highly primed to buy, and we'd love to introduce them to merchants who sell to groups products and bookings and services that are relevant to them. So so that's basically in a nutshell. If you sell to groups, then our group payment solution makes it really easy for your customer to spend more money with you, money quicker, to share your brand on your behalf, and also, like I say, we can link you up with our consumers that we have on the app side as well. So that's it in a nutshell. We do have a webinar coming up. Our next one is on the 29th of July. So if you want to find out a bit more detail, appreciate this presentation has been very top level and overhaul, then feel free to sign up to that webinar and get a bit more detail, a bit more information about actually how does that work. And yeah, we can obviously talk through that a bit more then. So that's it for me, but I'll take a look. And if anyone's got any questions, please do feel free to pop them in the chat. This GIF might get annoying after a while, so do let me know if you want me to flick off it. But yeah, and if you've got any questions that you think of afterwards and want to get in touch, then my contact details are on there as well. So you can email me directly. It's just amy@collctiv.com with no e's in it whatsoever. And you can find us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn at Collctiv or at Collctiv app. And obviously our website has a lot more detail as well, which is just simply collctiv.com. So yeah, so I'm going to take a quick look in, and we'll just knock that back one because it's fairly distracting. Take a quick look into the chat. So question around the future of Collctiv, so which is a really good question. We are obviously, like I said earlier, we are fairly early stage company. We've seen great growth and great traction on both the consumer and the commercial side of the business in this first year. And what we want to be able to do as we go forward is just continue to make that group payments ecosystem easier and easier. So we're not similar to a bank. We're not trying to force everyone to download our app and put their money into our app. We do want to make it easier for people to, if they're doing anything to do with group buying, whether that's group bookings of events or whether that's group purchases, to be able to do that in a really simple way that doesn't require time lags on either side, on the consumer side or merchant side. So for our consumer app, we want to be able to develop it further so that once you've collected the money into your pot, so you're collecting for a holiday for when all this is over, we can all go away again, and you're collecting that money into your pot. We want to be able, and if you were a merchant as well that was on our platform and you sell holidays to groups, then we want to be able to link that directly up in terms of the payment of the money between the two. So that's one of our future ambitions for making it just easier to do group payments. So thanks for that question. Has anyone got any other questions at all? Thanks, Natasha. So Natasha's just popped in the chat there. If people are ready to move on and finish the session, do just click on the left-hand side of the networking tab there. Another quick question from Lee, which I'll just answer quickly before people head on to networking. So question from Lee around, have we got any new partnerships on the horizon? And yeah, we've got some very exciting partnerships in the pipeline. We're part of a couple of key sort of programs in Manchester, in the city, which is great and has enabled us to access some really top quality partners. And we're also looking to develop out some of our technical integration plugins, so with other people in the ecosystem of payments or of the sales process in general, in order to make things smoother for that as well. So yeah, so hopefully that answers that question. That's probably it from now. I think we're close to the end of our time. So do you want to head over into the networking side of the event? And yeah, reach out directly to me if you've got any other questions or would like a demo of how the platform works or how we could help you to sell directly to groups. And I'd only be too happy to chat with you. Thank you very much for coming on to the session.